know what everything means. So I have Steve and Lauren on the air with me, and I want to ask Steve, what is escrow? Tell everybody what is escrow so we get that clear.
Well, escrow basically is a holding party. What we're here to do is to protect all individuals involved as part of a contract. So you have a buying side, a selling side. You have a lender, and we're holding money in trust accounts to protect everybody. So basically, our job is to make sure that everybody follows the contract, that people get their money, and the property that everybody buys is free of encumbrances through title. And when we close the transaction, everybody walks away happy. That's probably the most important part of every transaction. When we leave a transaction, everybody walks away happy, and they get their money. Usually, when we wire out money, we wire out the same day, as long as it's before 3 o'clock. So it's very important to us that the customer experience is taken care of.
And how many days is once someone agrees to buy a home or sell a home, how many days in should the escrow start?
We start
how
right
much?
away.
How time?
The escrow period is usually determined by the agents. We have some escrows that close in 7 days and some close in 2 years. It depends on the transaction, but
wow, no, you can't open escrow in 2 years.
Well, no, we open right away, but we can close. We've had escrows that have been open for a while because of the type of transaction. Yeah, if it's a big commercial type transaction, we've had transactions that go a long way, and that's the importance of having a trust account and holding that money safe for a long period of time if that's necessary. But yeah, as soon as we get the contract, usually we open it usually within an hour or less. Our customer service is always based on performance.
Yeah. So I know, thanks, Steve, I know that wiring instructions are really important because they're
Correct.
temperamental these days, especially during COVID. People want to make sure that the wire gets back to the escrow company when you wire funds, when you open escrow, and confirmation should be done that day, or when should confirmation be done with your escrow company?
Well, the most important thing about wiring is you got to make sure you're wiring through an encrypted email. And so we spend a lot of our money on protecting clients. So it's very important that you get the escrow information from the escrow officer, and it comes from an encrypted email, and then we will check to make sure that we receive the funds or you receive the funds securely.
Great. And Steve, how long, I know you're the owner of Precision Escrow, and
Correct.
I met you several years ago. And I just thought it was so comfortable to talk to you. It's not one of these big firms that you get lost, right? You're like family. You become like family. So there's the
yeah. I'm very hands-on. I'm very hands-on. I know most of the clients we deal with. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of clients over Southern California. We have multiple reps. We go a long way from Southern California to Northern California, and we do all types of transactions. So I like to meet the people I work with, so they have a question, they can call me directly, they can call Lauren directly. Again, you know this because you've experienced it. We never close. So 7 days a week, we're open, and when you're dealing with, taking care of clients, sometimes they need to open an escrow on a weekend, or they need to know how much they're getting a net on the sale of their property. So that could be on Christmas Day. That could be on New Year's Day. It really doesn't matter to us. We're going to make sure that we're going to be there for the client, for the agent, 7 days a week. And Lauren and myself are always available 365 days a year. And there's no exceptions to that.
So I know I bothered you in a pinch on a Saturday evening.
Never bothered you. Never bothered.
Times. Remember in February I had those 9 properties that were in the probate that was released from the courts, and there was some issues, and you guys really, Joe and everybody, really stepped up to the plate. I'm like, these people are not going to like me, but I have to do this because I know what to do.
That's actually what we do like. That's how we can get hands-on with the client and hands-on with the real estate agents to make sure that they deal with us closing time. You talked about timing. Well, timing is very important, especially when you got probates and things like that. So it's imperative that we get involved. If there's a hiccup on whatever side, whatever we can do to make the file move forward quickly and efficiently, we're going to do it. Doesn't matter what time it is.
Right. And how long have you had your firm for, Steve? Precision Escrow.
I've been in real estate for 27 years, but I was in lending for 19. I've been in part of Precision Escrow for 8. We took over 8 years ago. We've been growing from one escrow officer. Now we have 6 teams and a processing center, so we're really built to support the business.
Well, what's important is that you started in lending in the beginning of your career in real estate. And why it's important is obviously you know what it's all about behind the scenes. You didn't just jump into an escrow company and decide to do escrow. You knew what it was like because you've seen the good, bad, and the ugly, and you knew how to run the show.
Right, and then what happened with me, kind of how I do it this way is because on 459 on a Friday, I got loan docs, and I needed an escrow person to sign up my loan docs, and it was very difficult to find somebody. So I told myself, if I ever have that situation, I own an escrow company, I want to make sure it doesn't matter when the escrow, the loan docs come in, I want them signed because we have closing dates. You have, you lock in for a period of time. If you have a loan, that needs to close on that time where the rate could go up, and that's going to cost the client money. So that's where
a deal dead.
Yeah, we don't want to kill deals. We want to make sure, it doesn't matter what time it is, we're going to take care of it. I have an in-house support manager. You mentioned his name is Joe. And he's also inside the office. I'm more outside the office. He's inside the office watching over this project that we have.
Do you lock them in there, Steve? No, I'm just kidding.
Yep, they've got beds.
No, but Joe's also on the cloud. So, so for agents out there or clients out there want to know how much they're going to net from a sale or a property, doesn't matter where he's at. He can do it from his home or from a vacation, on a cruise, or nobody's going on cruises anymore. But wherever he's at, he can get you that information. He can get you that information anywhere. So that's the whole setup of Precision Escrow and why we separate ourselves from the other escrow companies.
Actually, people are booking cruise lines, funny enough, because they're a good deal.
I heard that.
It's
I'm actually going to Cabo tomorrow. Don't tell anybody.
There you go.
You just told the whole world.
You just,
That's what I
said.
You're
going to take us. I mean, I think we
but you have to quarantine.
To go.
You have to quarantine for 3 days before you see me, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Oh no, I'm feeling great. I really am. I'm wearing my mask. I'm social distancing.
Yeah.
I'm outside. Thankfully, we live in California, and that is such a huge plus. I feel bad for people coming from New York, as I do. I remember those days, and you just look out the window, and you're not going out. Besides COVID, now you can't even go to the movies there. And it's so sad. I talk to people, and they're just having cabin fever. They're leaving, going to warm climates and renting houses until some of the things open up and things get better, as they will.
Yeah,
everything turns around. Do you find that escrow is acting differently now during COVID?
Well, we set up an outside signing desk. We set up an outside signing desk in our office, so we actually lock the door and only staff is out inside usually, and then outside if we need to do a signing or they have some questions, we set up an outside area for that as well. So we're trying to make it safe for the customers.
Well, that's really great because I know that people, as they should be, we don't know what anything is, right? So if you don't know, just stay safe as much as you can. And I really, I can't wait for my next sale so I can use you guys again because I love the service I get. I love when I have no one to talk to. I call you guys at 10 o'clock at night, and you answer the phone. And I really encourage other realtors or even people that want to sell on their own to contact you because it's so important. And you guys are in the Valley, I know. So I know that you have a large range because everything is digital and phone calls. We're so lucky that we live in this era. I don't know what people did years ago. They ran over to each other's offices, I guess, like the good old days, right? But I think we're more efficient now.
Steve actually has to go, so it's just going to be us moving forward.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
Lauren,
little
you're going to stay.
Let me get you my direct number to anybody that wants to call me, has any questions.
Yeah.
818-554-5269. Again, 818-554-5269. Doesn't matter what day it is or where I'm at. Give me a call and we'll help you out.
Yep.
And if if you don't have an escrow, he'll make you laugh. So
Exactly. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. See you soon. Lauren.
Yes.
So, Lauren,
I'm here.
How's business? Is it busy now? Besides the refis, are you seeing a lot of purchases going on in the office?
We are seeing a lot. We are seeing a lot of purchases, which, of course, coming into something like this, you always get a little bit nervous with how the business is going to be and how it's going to carry forward. But we've actually been really busy, and we've been maintaining our clients. We've been picking up new clients, and I'm just very grateful for that because I know a lot of people aren't having, that kind of success right now. But the market is still pretty hot. So the refi boom is here, I think, with the rates being as low as they are. We have a ton of refis. We are getting
great.
sales too. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's good. And we're getting for sales by owners. I know you mentioned.
Even though I'm a realtor, I do suggest using a realtor. But
I suggest that too.
The thing is this, people get caught up in an escrow with the wrong buyer if they're selling their house. And then you are in a bad place because you can't get out of it unless you really spend money or, do whatever it is that you need to do. I think saving money on not using a realtor is not really saving money unless, of course, there's somebody in your family that's done this many times over and over again and knows what to look for.
But you got to hire a professional, and that's what that's what you do is everything about it, and you know how to protect everybody, and you know how to protect the sellers, the buyers, and the paperwork, and the area. You get a professional because exactly.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to just do everything yourself. So that's why there's professional, realtors like you.
And thank you. Well, for me, when I need a professional, whatever it is, and I don't have experience in it, I hire someone because I don't want to mess up.
Course.
It's very costly. Thing to get out of it. And I feel that, hiring a professional, even, when I just had these, the end of February, I'm getting another one in December out of probate, working with the administrator. But I remember that there were so many offers that came through on several of the properties, but they were funky in the state where people try to buy them in an LLC, and they're not really the LLC, and they try to flip the escrow and not really be the ones that buy it. And people, the buyers, who are investors, as they say, would get a little upset with me because I would say, I want your paperwork. I want to see who are these people, the assignees, who's the assignee, because that can hold up your transaction. And people get all excited if you don't deal with a realtor that knows trust and probate and inherited properties, as I'm certified in California as a trust and probate realtor. It is so, so important because it is such a different transaction. It really, really is.
Right.
And you need to know, I don't know if you read about it, Lauren, about the inheritance property taxes are going to be changing. I think it's going into effect. There's a Prop 58 or something. I'm not sure. I think it was Prop 58 in the middle of February.
I think we all had a vote on that.
Yeah, we did. And, the inheritance laws are changing. And, it sometimes I think it's even really a good idea for people to try to talk to someone prior to the passing of someone, as you can give a gift to an heir instead of waiting for the person to pass away. Tax-wise, it may be beneficial if you look at the whole picture of what's going on. And that's why we do the show. We just want to break people out of just a cookie-cutter way of thinking because they do what they do. People have their own businesses. They're professionals. They don't really think about all this, right? And we do because we do this all day, every day, and nighttime, right? We're never off. We're working 70 hours a week for ourselves, right? And I feel that if you are educated or educate yourself on what things would look like before they happen, you would like to see on paper with your tax professional, with your realtor, and everybody else to see what is this going to look like at the end of the day if you wait. What would it look like if you sold your property now and gave a gift to your heirs? What does it look like, right? And, instead of waiting to the 10th hour because we're already at the end of November and things go into effect the end of February, I feel that people, if they want to reach out to me, I would love to talk and invite people for a virtual coffee and talk about your assets and what you have going on as well and see what because, I know a lot of attorneys as well in this field, and to, properly engage with someone who needs the right professionals for the different questions that they have within this arena. And that goes for divorce. Divorces are taking longer, right? They're not going quickly because of the courts, right? The court stuff is different. And, I'm really, really excited that you were on this call because, I just love talking to you. I could talk to you for hours. When we first met, I remember we would just talk, and we're like, oh, my God, we have to go. But all of you are so knowledgeable. I like people that do what they do, and they do it well. Because I'm accountable when I use people, and I want my life to go smoothly and easily and seamlessly. So,
of course, Lauren, especially right now.
Oh my gosh, all the time. I don't want any hassles. I want it really simple, super easy. Lauren, how can people reach you? Other realtors, people selling, and have questions about escrow? How do they reach you?
So my direct number is area code 818-307-3636. Again, 818-307-3636. I also have a toll-free number that I think is on the ad. I don't even know it by heart, but if
that's okay.
I can get that for you guys.
That's okay.
But that will reach me. That's my direct cell phone number.
And this is Precision Escrow, and you can watch the stream again on Facebook if you're not listening to the radio. It's on there all the time at KHTS Hometown Station for more information. And again, Lauren, thank you. I know next month in December we're going to be having Cynthia on the phone, and we're going to be talking about bonds and trust and probate when things are different than a traditional escrow. And I think people need to tune in next month. We'll post when the episode will occur. But I really look forward to Cynthia coming on because that is so important when you're dealing with inherited properties and what we may need to do to help the flow of the transaction go through.
Yeah,
so again,
exactly. And
So I'm sorry I cut you off. No, go ahead.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I was just gonna say it's always good to prepare for impact. That's what I always, say. So all the information that you can get prior to something happening is always good. And Cynthia's she's a wealth of knowledge, and she's gonna be a good little addition next month to our little episode that we're doing.
Yes, I look forward. I have to give you my book that I published. How to sell your tips and tricks on how to sell your inherited properties. And, I really can't wait to forward that to you. It's being finished up right now, re-edited. And as soon as it's complete, I'm going to share with you and Steve because I really like the way it came out. And, so things during COVID happened for me. I had time to do this.
Yeah, there you go. See, you got to take the positives with what's going on. Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren, for joining us.
All right, Mina, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Okay, all right.
Thank
have a nice day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
La Rocca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to laroccainspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
You just had an accident. Now what?
I'm Caesar from Body Shop 661. After you get into a car accident and call your insurance company, chances are they're going to send you to a cut-rate auto body just to save themselves some money.
So, what do I do?
Call me at Body Shop 661. Your car will get taken care of as if it were my own. No second-rate parts, and the job isn't finished until it's done right. Body Shop 661 handles all types of vehicles, foreign and domestic. Plus, I work with all insurance companies.
Locally owned and operated for over 20 years. On Ruther, just past Home Depot. Call Body Shop 661 at 251-2252.
Felicia Gerardo Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Gerardo's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Gerardo's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
Christmas music is coming. Starting Friday afternoon at 3, hear all the new and classic holiday songs right here on KHTS. Brought to you by Mission Valley Bank and Providence Holy Cross. Let's get into the holiday spirit together. You, KHTS, and Christmas music. It starts this Friday at 3.
Happy holiday.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, KHTS hometown station. And I want to welcome my next guest, Lawrence Davis. And he is amazing. He is an estate planning attorney, certified specialist, probate, trust, and law. And good afternoon, Larry. So nice for you to join me today.
Well, good afternoon to you as well, Mina. Hope you and your family are safe and healthy.
They are. Thanks for asking. Thank God. Yes. Larry, let's get right to the topic at hand. I just love this stuff. You know, I love estate planning, trust, and probate. It's so important. It's so interesting because there's so many twists and turns. So where's the best place to start?
Well, probably with a definition. That's always a good place to start for the for lay people. Let's just take a definition of estate planning. It's basically an organized plan for the accumulation, preservation, and distribution of one's wealth. Most people, though, concentrate on who gets their property when they die. That's how they define estate planning. But everyone's got a plan, whether they've taken the initiative to be proactive or not. That's because the state of California or whatever state a person resides provides for the distribution of a person's property when he or she dies by default. That's what the probate code is. It's just that most states don't distribute a person's property the way and on the terms that the decedent wants. That's why people draft wills and revocable living trusts, so that they can control who gets what and when those people get the property.
I see. Thank you. You've mentioned wills and trusts. I suspect that what most people think when the words estate planning are used, correct?
Yes, most people do think only in those terms, but really estate planning encompasses a discussion of not only what happens when someone dies, but what happens if you become incapacitated or incompetent? Who will handle your money? Who will make healthcare decisions? Those documents that are used for those things are called the Durable Power of Attorney for Property and an Advanced Healthcare Directive.
Okay, I see. So the major 4 documents in any person's estate plan or a will are a revocable living trust, a durable power of attorney for property, and an advanced healthcare directive, correct?
You got it. That's it. Those are the 4 basic ones.
Okay, so I'm ready to get my law license. That's it. I'm going to another plan.
Easy peasy.
Then without getting into too much of complication, what can you tell me about the impact of recent tax laws, and it's really important, and COVID-19 when you had an estate plan?
Well, because this is only a 20 or 30-minute broadcast, I don't want to get into the recent California propositions and the impact on property taxes. I don't even want to go down that road with what tax changes might happen with Joe Biden coming in as the president-elect. So let's stay with a couple things that are more conventional that, at least for the time being, we're on solid ground. So let me focus on just a couple things. Right now, we've got, I'm going to focus on the current federal estate tax exemption amount.
Yes.
And also how the pandemic affects everyone's estate plan, because those things people can really get their head around. So let's talk about the pandemic, because you can't go 5 seconds without talking about that. So let me talk about, what I want to talk about first, since it's literally simpler to talk about, would be the federal exemption amount, and then we'll segue over to the pandemic and the issues surrounding that and how that affects people as well.
Right.
Right now, effective in January of 2017, there was a change in the federal tax law, and every person can pass. Used to be able to pass about $5.5 million to anybody. Now that number has been increased to a little over $11 million a person, which means $22 million or so, close to $23 million per married couple, that they can pass estate tax-free to anyone they want. So really what we do, and estate taxes, by the way, are most people are familiar with income taxes, because that's what we do all the time. And especially for your clients, they're familiar with property taxes, because the taxes assessed on the real estate are property taxes. But estate taxes are based on basically what a person owns at the time of his or her death. And we pretty much look at a person's balance sheet to determine what that amount is. If it's less than $11 million, there's no tax to pay. And that change from $5.5 million to $11 million was a big game changer. And a married couple, and that's because the numbers become so huge. There are so few Americans that have a net worth, especially a married couple. Few married couples have a net worth higher than $22 million. So it affects hardly anyone, really. In fact, 95% or more of the American public have net worth less than $2.5 million. So you can see that there won't be much of an impact for 95 to 99% of the American people. Nevertheless, if you're dealing with in a market, and if your clients have that kind of net worth, it's pretty significant. And like I said, depending on who what might change after January 20th, 2021, could have a dramatic effect on that law and the impact on those people with a high net worth. So the second issue, which I think is more relevant to everybody, no matter what the net worth is how COVID-19 affects people, and in my domain, which is estate planning.
Right.
So let's see if I can put this in lay terms that most of your audience will understand.
Uh-huh.
There's a document called an Advanced Healthcare Directive. This is a document that empowers where you, as the principal, allow somebody to make healthcare decisions for you if they're not able to. It has nothing to do with money, but it has everything to do with life and death decision making.
Mm-hmm.
So the document a person puts in place in the event he or she becomes incapacitated, say in a car accident or they develop Alzheimer's or dementia. It names someone. So if you and I were married, I would name you to be the person who would make decisions for me. Now, that's the way things worked for many, 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 many years until March of this year. And that's when COVID pretty much shut down the economy. But where it had an impact on what I do is all of a sudden people became hospitalized, and all the hospitals shut the doors on anyone who was not the ill person. And so all of a sudden, forever and ever and ever, we've been able to, the spouse or the loved ones have been able to go into the hospital and physically see the doctor and the nurses and ask about the ill person. Now you can't do that. You have to figure out a way to communicate with these hospital workers who are overwhelmed. By the way, they're just it's just mind-boggling how overwhelmed they are.
Very sad, yeah.
Yes, it's a very sad situation, and so now we've got 248,000 Americans who have died, and probably 5 times that amount admitted to the hospital. In fact, I think just as we were coming on the air, I heard the stat that the hospitals are at 71,000 people admitted to hospitals now, which is double just what happened a week or two ago or something like that. Just it's going through the roof. So what if you either have an older healthcare directive or worse, you have none at all? How is someone supposed to be able to make the healthcare decision if you can't sign a DNR or physically see the doctor to talk about treatment plans?
Right.
It's impossible now. So what I've done now is added special language to healthcare directives so that the loved one, let's say you and I, like I said, you and I are married. Don't tell my wife this. You and I are married.
No, I won't. Don't tell my husband either. But we never know. It sounds good to me.
It's not bigamy. It's not bigamy. No, we're cool. We're cool. Just make believe. That I now give you the power to communicate and make decisions with the doctor or the medical people via Zoom or FaceTime or Skype. Those terms were never put into conventional healthcare directives because we've never been denied the ability to go into the hospital.
Right.
It's really wild. It's sad, but it's the reality. So I've customized documents to take away, to replace that ambiguity with express language, just so my clients don't run into a brick wall in communicating with medical providers.
That's so important, Larry. I love that you did that. Yeah.
Now, knock on wood, I've been lucky. I haven't had any clients die from COVID-19.
Thank God.
But, anything can happen at any moment in time.
Right, exactly.
Now, so how has the pandemic affected? The other way the pandemic has affected estate planning has been in probate. And probate is nothing more than a process, than a court process to pass assets to heirs and beneficiaries. When the pandemic hit in March, and things closed down in March, the courts closed down. All the courts closed down. Now, probate normally takes 6 months to a year at a fast rate. I mean, lightning fast, 6 months to a year. Usually it's 1 to 2 years.
Right.
But all of a sudden, March, April, May, June, all of those probates, 5 days a week, every superior court in the state of California, and pretty much just about every state in the country, closed down. So all of those cases that were already scheduled for those months were pushed to dates in July, August, September, October.
All right.
But then you have all the cases that would normally come on from people passing away in March, April, May, June. And those cases were all pushed as well. So the existing cases plus all the new cases. So courts are backed up, unbelievable how backed up they are. And what would normally take 6 months to a year, now I have to tell clients, heirs, okay, we're looking at 1.5, 2 years, 2.5 years, just to go through the paperwork, because each time you do something in probate court, you're delayed 6, 8, 10 weeks to get on calendar for a judge's approval. And that's why now more than ever, I tell clients, maybe we should utilize a living trust instead of just regular wills, so we can avoid that probate process in its entirety. And
wow, I like that.
I mean,
so a living trust will avoid it.
It'll not only will it avoid it, it avoids obviously the cost involved in probate, which are about 3% of 3 to 5% of the gross value. But and this relates a lot to what you do. Imagine there's a piece of real estate now that's comprising some or all of the estate. Maybe you have a client that has 2 or 3 pieces of property, and he dies, and there are mortgages. Well, if you're going through probate and now you're delayed, well, the mortgage lender isn't going to wait for 1 to 2 years. He wants his money every month.
Right.
But if the heirs don't have the ability to get to access the money because of the court delays, it just creates either foreclosures or increased penalties and late fees.
Yes, and Larry, it's so important. We're going to take a break now, and we're going to talk a little more about this, because I know that people are super interested in this, as they should be, especially in this time. And you are a wealth of knowledge. So we're going to be right back with some more with Larry Davis, estate planning attorney and trust and probate, and we'll see you in a bit.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant, from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
When you hire a CPA firm or tax preparer, you want a firm with people who understand you, your business and industry, and participates in your local community. You need a firm that has long-standing, successful professional relationships around Southern California with attorneys, bankers, and other CPA firms who can provide additional help to your personal and business needs. Denny & Company, LLP. CPAs that make life less taxing. Call 286-8860, 286-8860.
La Rocca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to laroccainspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
Aloha, friends. Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
I love it.
Right on.
Your hometown station.
You're listening to Listed by Mina Kuper with Larry Davis today, and we are on 98.1 FM, KHTS Radio, 1220 AM. Larry, I'm so happy. This break was really short. I'm always so excited to hear about trust and probate since I am in the business of selling trust and probate real estate and inherited properties. And I know that you've been in practice for how long now?
35 years.
Wow, that's amazing. And what do you feel that, do you think that the trust, probate, and estate planning has changed in the last 35 years? And do you feel that people were more open to get wills and trusts back then, or do you think people are more acclimated to do it now during COVID, or are they still not wanting to deal with it? Because, you know, you're planning your death, but you're also planning a safety feature so that your heirs don't have any trouble.
Wow, that's a loaded question. You got a lot to unpack in that one statement.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can break it down. First of all, 35 years. Well, I think I had hair back then, Mina.
Oh, you're handsome anyway, Larry. It's okay.
Here's the one big thing that's changed in 35 years. My practice is in the San Fernando Valley, the Porter Ranch area of the San Fernando Valley. So most of my clients are out here in the valley. And in particular, what's changed in 35 years is when I sit down with a client today and even 10 years ago, and if they bought their home 30 years ago, they might have paid $50,000 for that home, and now it's worth $900,000.
Wow.
And it's hard for them. It's hard for them to get their head around the concept that the probate fee alone could be half the price they paid for their home. And that's a tough concept for people. I've looked at papers where people have taken out a second mortgage for $1,000.
That's crazy. That is
$1,000,
right.
2%, 1.5%. Yeah, because that's what the values were on those properties many, many years ago. So you fast forward at 30 years from now. So back then, people thought the only people who needed living trusts were really, really wealthy people.
Right.
Because that's what they heard on the news. There was no, Al Gore hadn't invented the internet then, and so people just got their basic news from channels 2, 4, and 7, and they didn't have the bombardment of all of these things at their fingertips. But now what I've noticed is that there is a shift from the 70 and 80-year-olds to the 30 to 50-year-olds who utilize living trusts versus just wills because they understand what their parents have gone through and their grandparents have gone through, and they want to avoid those costs. And because the value of real estate has gone up so dramatically over all those years that the costs to go through a probate are in California are prohibitively expensive.
It is.
So that's
when I
the
first
biggest
started
change.
doing that. Yeah, when I first started doing trust and probate real estate and deals, I noticed when I got the letters from the courts and I looked through everything, educated myself with all the fees and everything, I was like, wow. I said, this is not worth it, you know. I said, certainly, I told everybody, whether you're remarried or getting divorced and getting married, how important it is to update your wills and trusts. Don't just leave them, because it's a sore topic sometimes when you're mixing more people in the situation. But it does have to be addressed because it really will create a sense of calm once it is addressed.
Yes, and your comment about now how has been affected? How has that been affected by the pandemic? And the answer is the issue of death is more out there now. It's not hidden. as much because we're seeing death counts on the TV every day.
Every day.
1,000 people a day, 1,400 people a day, 160,000 people a day getting infected.
Crazy.
It's out there for that people have to talk about it. And then if you're over 65, you're at high risk. Or if you have other comorbidities, you're at high risk. So people are sensing an urgency to get things done, get their affairs in order. In fact, I was just on the phone with a new client this morning. He's 81. He's 81. Just came out of gallbladder surgery. He was in the hospital for 40 days. That would normally be just an outpatient thing, but he had major complications. And he said, "Well, Larry, I want to think about this a little bit." I said, "You're 81 years old."
To think about this, right? Very optimistic. I like that. He's a little optimistic.
I said, "You're out of the hospital finally. Well, we can talk now."
Oh my gosh!
I said, "How much time do you think you want to take to think about this?" Okay, please send me your retainer agreement.
Oh my goodness!
We'll get moving on
my
this.
goodness! Well, Larry, I want to thank you. Yes. No, I know we can go on forever. I'm going to have you on the show again because I think you have so much information for people, especially now they're, maybe dealing with a loved one that's ill and they're frazzled and they're frozen. And I tell everybody, do not freeze. Call us. Larry, how can they call you and talk to you? Larry is a great person to talk to. He loves talking to people. And even if you have a question, I encourage you to talk to him.
Oh, I appreciate that, Mina. And I told your audience that my practice is in Porter Ranch in northwest San Fernando Valley, up here at the top of Northridge. But here's the big change in my practice. I do most things on Zoom now, phone calls and Zoom. So my clients are coming from all. Yeah, no Santa Monica Freeway, San Diego Freeway, Ventura Freeway.
No,
People don't have to compete with all that traffic now.
Yeah.
So I can have those meetings that normally I wouldn't be able to.
Larry, what's a good phone number for you? I know we're running short on time because I know we can talk for hours.
Here you go.
I would have done a double session. What's a good? I want people to be able to reach you. It's so important. It's so important. And please, Larry, it's great to talk to you. He'll pick up your calls.
Okay, I can be reached at 818-366-2470.
Again?
818-366-2470.
Larry, thank you so much. Everyone, I really appreciate you listening because this show is based upon what you need to know that you don't know or new changes when it comes to trust, probate, divorce, and more. These are real facts. These are things that are happening. Tell your friends to tune in because we're a wealth of information here. We're not looking for anything but to educate you, and you need to know what's happening so that you have a seamless process in anything you do. You're listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, KHTS hometown station, and thank you so much. And we're going to have some great guests next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Tune in. And Larry Davis, I know that we can talk forever because even he educates me, and that's why I'm good at what I do. And because I have professionals on my side like him. And I thank you so much for being there for me and my clients. And again, please, reach out to us. My number is 310-345-8500. And I look forward to seeing you next week and having you back on the show, Larry. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you soon.
All your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Dorado's insurance agency understands this.